What is going on? My non-BS family. How y'all guys doing? You can't make this shit up. How y'all guys doing, man? I'm back. I've taken a long hiatus. I know I have not made any recordings lately about my true crime. I have been going through a lot of personal stuff through 2026. Let's just put it to you this way. I financially did not prepare myself to the point to where when I did move to Atlanta, I had to be temporarily misplaced, went homeless, and then I had to turn around and had some legal trouble back in South Georgia, and now I currently just got somewhat out of it. So now this is my chance to actually try to give you guys a real story about the true crime that I normally do. So without further ado, I just want to tell y'all I apologize, but I am back, and I'm definitely not going to stop doing what I do. So, with that being said, we got a juicy story that is coming to you this time around for my true crime collection. And let's just put it to you this way. What happens when you get in a position of power to where so many people look up to you, admire you, and actually just hold on to your every word, and you turn around and become an actual monster because of that power? This is the story of a pastor named Brodes C, who all his life was destined to be a part of a ministry. The ministry of saving souls, leading people, doing what is right. But the whole time, he was also using that gift as a tool to have his cake and eat it too. And y'all know that when you can't make this BS up, 9 times out of 10, it always ends just like it starts, with some bullshit. And with that being said, let's jump into it. In the world of faith, pastors are often seen as pillars, guides, counselors, and the moral examples for the congregations. But behind the pulpit, even the most dedicated pastors, they be having some secrets now. When I say some secrets, damn it, they be having some secrets. And 9 times out of 10, those secrets come back to not only bite them in the ass, but also come to take them out. Now, again, we're discussing the story of Pastor Brodes C. This man is a 3rd-generation preacher. He was a family man. He was a leader who helped countless people connect with not only their faith, but also made people feel like they could do anything by the grace of God. But his private life is what caused him his demise. And this is how it all begun. Brodes C. Perry. He was born into a legacy of preaching. Now, I really don't know when his actual birthday or date of birth was, but I do know he was a 3rd-generation pastor. He was named after his grandfather, Reverend Brodes H. Hartley Sr., who led the Friendly Missionary Baptist Church in Jacksonville, Florida. And he did this for 61 years. Now, his father, Pastor John Perry, also served in ministry. Now, young Brodes initially resisted the call, described it as a Jonah experience. And if you don't know what Jonah is, read the Bible about Jonah going in the well, getting, swallowed by the whale because he was disobeying God's call. But eventually he embraced it, and he viewed himself humbly as a chief of sinners whom God could still use. Now, he graduated from Florida A&M University, which, they call them a rattler, right? In 2005 is where he developed his leadership skills. And that was going to be good for his ministry. Perry was passionate about Christian education, discipleship, and assimilation, helping newcomers feel truly part of the church family. I mean, when he preached, he really knew how to make people feel like that they were getting closer to the good Lord. In his years before his untimely demise, Perry moved to Memphis, and he became an executive pastor at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, which they call the Boulevard, a historical African-American congregation affiliated with the Disciples of Christ, one of the first in the city under that doctrine. Now, the senior pastor at that time was Reverend J. Lawrence Turner, who later called Brodes a phenomenal man who was dedicated to the kingdom of God. His service and heart will be truly missed. And Perry continued his work in assimilation and community connection, building on his reputation from Little Rock, Arkansas. That's right. Good old Little Rock now. It gets better. It gets better. Now, while Perry's public ministry focused on discipleship and assimilation and all that good stuff, it will be later revealed that the pastor had some very interesting in things that he was partaking in that was not so Christian. Now, one thing in particular that he was partaking in that was not so Christian is his attraction to a certain member. Now, during that special member, that's when we're going to talk about the Mrs. Let me get her name right. Don't want to mess it up here. Miss Latoshia Daniels. Now, see, Latoshia Daniels was going through some things, right? And she was like really hurt by whatever she had going on in her marriage. Wasn't happy and just needed some spiritual guidance. And we already know that when you're a church person and you're going through something in your personal life, who are you going to lean more towards? It's going to be some type of pastor or clergyman, as they would call it. Now, when this happened, Perry became very predatory, because in Perry's mind, what is one man's trash can be a very, very great treasure. But his treasure was far more lust. See, whenever they started counseling, because she was trying to be counseled to what to do and how to navigate through her failing marriage. Perry kissed her during that session. And I guess that kiss was so electrifying that Latoshia forgot who she was and what he stood for and what he had going on in his personal life, and decided to do the do. Now, as soon as that started, the pastor decided to make sure that she know that he had some strict rules, okay? Because he wanted this to be discreet. Now, this is what the strict rules was. The pastor was like, listen, I know you feeling me and I'm feeling you. And I sure know that the feelings that I got for you is going to go somewhere. But you got to understand something. Okay? I'm married. And my wife knows I do what I do. It's no secret in our marriage. But when you around me, though, because I got a church I got to lead, and you see me, and you're not supposed to be in the area, or you're not supposed to be around me, and there's no event going on, you got to act like you don't know who I am. You got to keep it pushing. And if I tell you to come around, then you come around. You know what I'm saying? Now, whenever I go to these conferences or revivals to other churches, if we got to, do overnight and be in a hotel, you're responsible for traveling to meet me separately. And by the way, when you in that hotel room, I want you butt ass naked. I want you with no clothes on at any given time, because that's what I need you to do. And last and final thing, if something was to happen that makes us uncomfortable, you need to reach out to my senior pastor. Now, I'm going to get to the name of the senior pastor in a minute. Now, this went on for 2 years. And during this 2 years, the good old pastor had everybody fooled. He was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to relationships, me and my wife have this thing where I can do what I want to do, but she cannot. And when I do see other people, it is not to be anyone from the same town we are originally from. Also, too, I want you guys to also know that it's okay to be non-monogamous, long as everybody know the rules and know how to respect each other. So he was basically selling this thing like a snake oil salesman. Everybody is thinking that, okay, pastor got it going on, he got a whole full relationship and everything else. Now, while this is going on, Pastor Perry is not only dealing with her, but he's dealing with multiple women, right? And including the wife. Now, while he is making it clear that he's doing this, he's telling Latoshia, listen, y'all other women know about each other, and so my wife don't know about you. And reason being is because, I ain't got around to it yet. So basically, he tried to play like she was so special that he could just drop it on his wife. But Latoshia went on and got a divorce from her husband and was waiting for maybe the good old pastor to do the same. But we already know that pastor ain't trying to divorce nothing, because pastor is all about lust and distrust. Anyway, after 2 years, all of a sudden, Pastor Perry is not feeling Latoshia anymore. He's not feeling her being naked on demand when he wanted to, and calling him yes sir and no sir, and I guess the intimacy was not excitable to his lust factor anymore. So there was an app that they had. Now I do not know the name of this app, but it's confidential, I think, or something like that was the name of the app. I have to look back at it. But this app is where you text someone, as soon as they read it, it erases itself. So he basically texted us and said, listen, I don't think I can do this anymore. All right, us hanging out, being cool together, all it, it's just too much. I just want to move on. Now, the young lady, Latoshia, is devastated. She's a counselor. She is in the business of telling people to keep themselves together, not to have no anger management, to follow their heart, to leave bad things alone. But to know that this man here destroyed her trust, took her heart and played with it for 2 years, and now he just wants to up and leave. Oh, she was upset. Very. So Latoshia decided to stop by one of them gun shops, right? And she went and decided to get her a pistol. Now, when she got this pistol, she put it in the bag after purchasing, and decided to drive 3 hours out to where the good old Reverend is, now having his new found faith at. So as she drives out to where he's at, she is flaming mad. Like, how can you do this to me? All these years, you've been telling me you love me, you want to be with me. Now you want to break up with me through a text. This is so disrespectful. This is so unnerving. So anyway, Daniels decides to pull up, right? She decides to pull up and get some type of statement of why. Like, why are you doing this to me? And she had already told him basically beforehand. Well, excuse me. First of all, she went to his favorite cigar shop. Let me rephrase that. Before she went to his home in Memphis, she went to his cigar shop and said, listen, all right, I want you to know that I'm hurt by what you did to me. I need to know what is going on. What can we do to fix this? And he basically, tell her, listen, I love you. I don't want to end this, girl. You know what? I tell you what, this is what we can do. I'm gonna tell my wife about you. We gonna get this thing right. We gonna be in it like swimwear. You know what I mean? So she's very confident now. Okay, he loves me. He is going to do what is right, and he is going to tell his wife, and we're going to be good to go. So that's what she believed. So she tells him, well, I'll meet you at the house then, at your house. So he pays it no mind, because in his mind, he's thinking when she arrived at his apartment that, okay, whatever. She probably is not gonna be there. And if she is, it's gonna be a quick handle. I can just scoot on out. So anyway, she drives on out to his residence in Collierville. She drives out there, and you know who's there first? It is the wife. So the wife is there, you know what I'm saying? And she sees the wife and she's like, okay, here's the wife. I guess I'm going to talk to her until he comes there. So the wife is, excited to see, someone that she knows from the area of Arkansas where they were originally from and had this church at. So they're having a good time talking, enjoying talking and getting to know each other. Once again, catching up on old times. Meanwhile, who pulls up? Guessed it. The pastor in that we're talking about right here, old Brodes. So Brodes see this woman and he is not happy because Brodes like, I know damn well she ain't here. I know you fucking lying. He said that in his mind. Not my mistress. I told her that I would tell my wife and be transparent myself. I didn't know she was going to actually do this on her own. So Brodes basically comes in. He's giving her the signal like, yo, not feeling it, not doing it right now. Basically, I'm uncomfortable with you being here. You need to go. So finally, she got the cue. She knew it was time to go. So she's leaving. She was thinking in her mind still with her leaving that, well, maybe Brodes will come out and talk to me about leaving me. But no, Brodes was like, I ain't walking you out. I'll let my wife walk you out. So the wife is walking out, and this woman goes into her purse and remembers while trying to get her keys to leave, like, and still distraught and upset, like, oh no, motherfucker, we're not doing this. Today is your day. She pulls out the pistol and basically tells him, you have broken my heart, and starts firing. While she is firing, his wife is in total shock because she like, what in the hell is going on here? Broke my heart, and hit this man 5 times in the head and torso. Tabatha, who is the wife of the pastor, Brodes Perry, is in a panic. She's trying to shield her husband, so she won't shoot her no more. She's like, get away from him. Now, Tabatha is deathly concerned here. And Tabatha's like, nah, I'm going to protect my husband. And as soon as she did that to cover her husband, well, y'all already know, when a woman is scorned, hell has no fury, right? Well, let me tell you, that fury came in when Daniels continued to shoot at Tabatha. I mean, right there in the shoulder, here. Tabatha is freaking out. You shot me in the shoulder. So now Tabatha is running to the neighbors to get help because she is freaking out because this woman has just shot her. Her husband is got 5 shots. It was a chaotic scene. So anyway, she's arrested. Y'all know the drill. When you get arrested, things get to the point where she now has to go to trial. So because of all the things that happened, it took them about 6 years to go to trial. You got COVID going on. You got delays. You know how it goes with the legal system. You got a good lawyer. They're going to tie it up so they can make it where either there's going to be a deal or when it goes to trial that they could have the case prepped so good that they can basically make sure you got a shot of not getting life in prison. So in 2025, when the trial started, Tabatha testified about who's now going by Archie and not Perry, that she was unaware of her husband having this 2-year affair. She was also unaware that her husband was not only having a 2-year affair with Tabatha, but he was dipping and dabbing with a lot of these women on the low. She was also unaware that the senior pastor at this church that was supposed to be his associate pastor or the second in command pastor that was supposed to be his partner in saving souls also knew what the good old pastor was doing, and actually basically in so much supported, like, yo man, do it, big dog. So the pastor had many girlfriends. Now the wife said that she had to wait till her husband's death until she realized that he really was out here being a dirty dog. That it took her to think a while back when he talked about a book called The Ethical Slut. The Unethical Slut. And she was like, he read this book and he told her, like, hey baby, I think you need to read this book called The Unethical Slut. You'll like it. And it kind of threw her back because she's like, okay, why is a pastor reading a book about an unethical slut, basically talking about it's okay to have an open marriage, run around and do whatever? I'm not feeling this. Something ain't right. But, you know, she just took it as his curiosity, maybe. Or maybe it was some kind of piece he was going to use to preach to the congregation in the future. But anyway, getting back to Tabatha, she really went through a lot. The wife, she basically testified that, yeah, she survived a gunshot wound to the shoulder, but she's got dual trauma. Basically PTSD of seeing her husband get shot down in front of her face, and then got to discover that, oh yeah, by the way, not only did he get shot down in front of your face and you got shot, but he also had this secret life, and he was just sleeping with anything that was moving in the skirt that looked good to his liking. And it had to be exposed in the public, in the courtroom. Then she had to endure delays while grieving, processing the betrayal. And you know the church family probably didn't make it so easy, because you know how church people is. Some that can be very messy. But she took it like a G, stood on business, and basically said that, you know, this is what happened. Now, after that, it was Daniels who took the stand. Now, usually Latoshia Daniels taking the stand, you would probably say, okay, this is dangerous. But you got to remember, she is also a psychologist / counselor. So the defense knew from what she went through was considered a crime of passion, because temporarily insanity almost, that they wanted the jury to see the trauma that occurred in this relationship. The pastor manipulating this woman, playing mind games, and had this woman really thinking that she was always going to be his boo. Well, when this happened, there was a lot of shock, because when the jury heard this, she was genuinely messed up, sad, broken, real tears. Now, you know, the prosecution tried to get a little rough, but they knew that she had already sold the jury, and there was nothing they could do. So after this, they found her guilty on the lesser charge. Not first-degree murder, but basically the other charges, second-degree murder, endangerment, that kind of thing. So because they found her guilty on these charges, there was sentencing day on February 2026. Now, Tabatha and the family members decided to join via Zoom. I guess they felt like, because of the pastor being so screwy and so messed up and messy, that he was not worth trying to be crimming up in the courtroom trying to act like he was a saint, which I'm not condoning his death. Please don't take that the wrong way. But Daniels apologized directly. She said, "Hey, to Tabatha, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I pray that all of you guys will forgive me." Now, Tabatha and Perry's sisters were present in spirit for the hearing, seeking justice after more than 6 years. Now, because of this, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. And she will have to serve 85% of that, because that is the Tennessee law. And she probably won't get out until eligible to get out of early release after serving 17 years. Now, since this, the family has really become very private about this on the Perry side, because it complicated his legacy, his ministry, because now everybody is looking at how all this time this powerful pastor was supposed to be a leader, supposed to be a pillar of strength, and wound up being a fraud with a very high and twisted libido. And the widow especially. So here comes the part where I'm going to tell y'all my personal thoughts about this, breaking it all down. First and foremost, we're going to go to the pastor, Brodes Perry. Pastor Brodes Perry is a disgusting individual. I'm sorry. I'm just being 100. Because he used his position to prey on these women and to play mind games. And to absolutely to have the gall to go on a rant and record these rants and brag about how you and your wife have this open monogamy agreement, when in reality your wife don't know nothing that you doing. You could not tell these people that, hey, listen, I'm just lying to kick it. My wife don't know nothing what I got going on. So that's another thing that really pissed me off about Brodes Perry. He was a liar that I cannot support. Number two, you are a pastor. How dare you encourage people to just step out on their marriage? You're supposed to be the epitome of doing the right thing. Be loyal, be committed. I mean, you are at a higher standard here, guy. And I guess that you found out in your mind, or made a thought in your mind, that you are able to change the narrative and do what the hell you want to do and make your own rules, which to me is a very common factor with ministers like this. This is where that narcissism come in. They want to make their own rules. They don't want to do it the right way. I feel like once you got to the point that you wanted to go out here and be at cigar shops and drink bourbon and start including women that are not your wife to be in your intimate bubble on a regular basis, you should have stepped away from the pulpit. Sorry, guy. You have no business trying to lead anyone until you figure out whether you want to be a minister or you just want to be a regular civilian. Because this right here is disgusting. Now, let's go to the victim. The number one victim in this is Miss Tabatha Archie Perry. Miss Tabatha did not deserve this. This woman almost could have lost her life because of her husband's negligence. She was hoodwinked. She thought that she was on the road to a very stable and healthy marriage because she was married to a man that was supposed to be of good faith. I can imagine this lady being loyal, doing all the things a good wife's supposed to do, especially a good first lady / church wife supposed to do when it comes to the pastor. And I think that in all reality, no one should not even say anything disrespectful to this lady, because she did not have no clue that she had a nasty ass husband, a narcissistic husband, a evil husband. Because you got to be pretty evil and pretty heartless to be able to do those type of things to your wife and then get up every Sunday and preach to your congregation like it's no tomorrow. And not to mention, she's going to have PTSD for the rest of her life. And her trust issues is definitely destroyed because she was with a man all these years and he was out here living a whole damn life that she knew nothing about. Now, the last victim, and I say this even though she was the perpetrator, it has to be Miss Latoshia. That's right, Miss Latoshia Daniels. She is a victim in this. She was hoping that the pastor, with his position and his power, would be able to save her, to be her knight in shining armor, because of how he projected this relationship on her. And when he found out that he was not going to change any of the things that she was looking for, he used his position, his power, his charm to make her feel like that if she continued to be loyal at all costs, that she would always have a spot in his life. But in reality, she was just a pawn, something temporary to play with until he got something better along. And when he found out that it would be better for him to move on from her and to go back to being the devoted husband and the sleazeball that he is when it comes to manipulating women, because he knew he had got everything he wanted out of her. He didn't want nothing else. He wasn't interested at all. And this caused this woman to have a mental breakdown because she thought that this man was going to be the end all be all after divorcing her husband and focusing on trying to be happy. No winners in this, man. This was a very disturbing case. And I think that everybody out here should take heed to this warning. If you are in a position of power, whether you're a minister, whether you're a teacher, professor, I don't care if you are a cop on the beat. If you're in a position of power where you got subordinates under you, the best thing that you need to do immediately is to create a line that cannot be crossed in your mind and make it clear out there. Because once you start mixing business with pleasure, this is what happens. It blows up in your face. And that's what's going on in this situation now. Because now we have a man who is dead, a wife / widower who will have PTSD for the rest of her life, along with the nightmares of knowing that the man that is dying in front of her that she's trying to protect was a straight sleazeball, and the young lady that was manipulated will not be able to see the light of day for the next 17 years. Again, no renters at all in this at all. So please, guys, do me a favor. If you like this story, follow me on all platforms, on all podcast platforms. We're talking about Apple. We're talking about Spotify, Amazon Music. And please, y'all, leave comments. It helps. It helps the algorithm. People can see what I'm doing and where I'm at as well. And also, too, check out my Facebook group, You Can't Make This BS Up, where I will have the latest stories out here and things for us to actually discuss. Again, please like, share, subscribe. I love y'all. Take care. I'm out.